Patient refuses to go into the operating room without caregiver, doctor tells nurse to record. She drove to the hospital as she always did in the afternoon. Although riskier, her mom's doctors had prescribed a new procedure which would be helpful to stabilize her condition. She reached her mom's room, letting her daughter go in while she remained behind to talk to her mom's doctor. That's when she heard something that had her rushing into her mom's room. Taylor Hawk was your average young mom living in San Francisco, California. Living with her mom and daughter, she'd worked hard to ensure her life was perfect. Taylor owned a bakery on the city's outskirts, a little slice of happiness that paid her bills while simultaneously allowing her to live her dream of being a baker. But it wouldn't be long till trouble brewed in her paradise. Taylor had grown up a single child under the vigilant eyes of her loving parents. But as she neared puberty, she lost her dad to a road accident. Although she was still young, Taylor knew life would never be the same again. But her mom raised her by herself, taking the role of mom and dad and doing her best. Before they knew it, Taylor was graduating from culinary school with dreams of opening her bakery. She'd dedicate every ounce of energy to seeing this dream become a reality. For Taylor, 3 pillars held every piece of her life together. The first was her daughter, the girl who meant the world to her. The second was her mom, the woman who'd given her everything. The third was her bakery, a dream turned into reality through sheer determination and hard work. Everything was going great for Taylor and her family when out of the blues, disaster struck. Taylor was at work when she received a call from her mom's hospital. Her stomach clenched as she listened to the doctor's news. This would be the start of a very dark period for her family. Taylor's mom had been diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. The news caught everyone in their family off guard, disrupting the peace they'd enjoyed for years. Taylor enrolled her mom in the best cancer treatment program she could find. She pulled all the profits from her business and even took loans to ensure she'd be able to cover whatever her mom's insurance wouldn't cater to. The following weeks were painful for her, seeing her mom's body react to the various cancer treatments the hospital subjected her to. But one day, Taylor would discover something that would send her rushing to her mom's room. Taylor's daily routine changed after the hospital diagnosed her mom with breast cancer. She would spend fewer hours at work, opting to stay by her mom's side, especially during the treatment procedures. Taylor had made a habit of going to the hospital. Although her business took a bit of a hit, she was okay with making the sacrifice. She had no clue what her mom was going through every night after Taylor left her. "We had always been close," said Taylor in tears, recounting the experience. "After my dad passed, she assumed the role of a father, raising me all by herself." She shared how her mom was her best friend, father, and sister. She'd do anything to ensure the woman knew she was there for her. Her mom was on her way to recovery when out of nowhere, her condition took a negative turn. Taylor drove to the hospital as she always did in the afternoon. Although riskier, her mom's doctors had prescribed a new procedure which would prove helpful in stabilizing her worsening condition. With her daughter by her side, Taylor reached her mom's room, letting her daughter go in while she remained behind to talk to her mom's doctor. That's when she heard something that had her rushing into the room. The sound was soft, a man's voice humming Elvis Presley's "Can't Help Falling in Love." Taylor entered the room to find her daughter in her mom's arms. They were rocking to a caregiver who was slowly humming the tune. He turned to Taylor with a broad smile, and she found herself nodding at him, even though she had no clue what was happening. "She really likes Elvis," the man whispered. He seemed to be in his late 50s, his umber skin shining beautifully under the afternoon sun that shone through the room's window. "I do," Taylor's mom mouthed. "His voice takes me back." The man began singing to Taylor's mom, and even Taylor found herself swaying to his voice. She'd have to ask what was happening once the show was over. When the man finished singing, he asked Taylor to join him outside the room. "He told me mom was losing hope after all the procedures the hospital had put her through," Taylor said. The man had sung to Taylor's mom for almost a week, soothing her whenever she felt down. But Taylor should have known that the man had his own agenda. Taylor's mom had her surgery as scheduled. She woke up to find her daughter and granddaughter by her side. Although she was elated to see them, she asked for the man who had been singing to her. Taylor saw that her mom's bond with the man was more than simple friendship. The two had been bonding for a while now, and as Taylor's mom put it, the man was her angel from above. Taylor would cry when she found out what his intention was. Taylor talked to the man at length, discovering he was a Jamaican by birth but had lived in their city for more than 2 decades. He was the friendliest person she'd ever met, with a penchant for music that blew everything she knew out of the water. Additionally, he was a performer in the city when not working as a caregiver at the hospital. But he was battling anxiety, which usually overwhelmed him on stage. Singing to his patients not only made them feel at ease, but helped him combat his anxiety. He revealed that he'd never met an encouraging audience as my mom, Taylor said with a blush. His songs helped her heal. Taylor's mom managed to beat her condition, going home to her family. But her friendship with the caregiver didn't end. Every cloud has a silver lining, she joked, chuckling next to Taylor and her granddaughter.